Hello and welcome to Devil's Discourse, and we are back for our second full episode. It's going to be a shorter one because not all of us could make this one. So with me this time I have Kay.
Hail Satan.
And I have Chaplain Leopold.
Hail Satan.
And I'm Lithos. Hail Satan. So, we have apologies from Ligeia, who is not feeling too well, and other podcast participants. Pike and Larage send their apologies. They are busy. Because, believe it or not, even at this time of the year, Satanists are busy. Like everyone is busy. And what we wanted to do was just give a short update, wish everyone well, and talk a bit about the stolen festivities parading as a Christian festival when in fact they are the appropriation of several pagan festivals that they've just taken and stuck a Jesus on, to put no too fine a point on it. It happens quite a lot. They did the same at fucking Easter as well. That's all about fertility. First of all, we would like to mention, in lieu of when we're recording it today, terrible news has come in from Bondi Beach. There has been an anti-Semitic terror attack where so far, I'm looking at the headlines, 11 people have been killed and 29 injured, specifically anti-Semitic. So this is horrendous, and none of this should ever happen. And lest we forget, before it was a Christian festival, there was Hanukkah as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's well worth just mentioning. We're going to be keeping that in mind as we're discussing things today. So, yeah, obviously our hearts go out to anyone affected by that, and it is horrific.
It is absolutely horrific, and anti-Semitism, as all religious intolerance, has no place anywhere, and it certainly has no place with Satanists either.
Damn right.
100%.
So, right, what festivals were there before Christmas? Well, there was Yule, obviously, and that word is still used quite a lot. And
Yuletide carols, etc.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought it was mainly Southern America that had really sort of taken on Yule as a concept, wasn't it? How Yule doing? How y'all doing? No? Okay, yeah.
Okay.
You know what?
Right,
I think I'm funny. No one else does. No one else thinks I'm funny.
No, it was good. I didn't catch it at first, but yes.
You know how you know you made a good joke when someone has to tell you, "Hey, that was good." Yeah, that's the sign of a good one. Yeah.
I'll say that the adoption of y'all is much better than the New York equivalent that some people used to use, which was use. Just the plural of you would be use.
I thought that was just something that was made up for terrible gangster films. I didn't realize that was an actual thing.
My mother says use.
Oh, wow. That is.
Yeah.
Wow. I have to reassess my whole, outlook on life.
My grandmother didn't say oil; she said Earl. I don't know. New York is weird, but anyway, we're here to talk about Yule.
I mean, that whole segment's getting cut out anyway, so don't worry about it. We can just crack on now. Yeah.
For all folks from the south of the States, happy Yule, y'all.
See, that was good. That was good.
Shall I cut everything else out and just pretend I came up with that?
I think you should.
No,
genuinely, 100%. That was 5 minutes of absolute trash. 100%. Just drop that in there. Get a clean take of it now. Get a clean take of it now. Go for it.
No, we don't do that. We don't edit like the BBC.
Oh no! Oh dear.
So there was Yule, and there was Saturnalia in ancient Rome. So I'm sure there were many others. Obviously, if anyone else can think of any, please do get in touch with us. Contact details are in the show notes. Yeah, and it has been appropriated as, there is no historical evidence, is there, that Christ was born at this time of year?
So
I could talk about that.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I was about to launch in with some very unlimited knowledge, but if you have actual knowledge, go for it.
Limited as well, but from my many years of being a former Catholic. So, to my understanding, in around the year 325, there was the First Council of Nicaea, which was held by the emperor at the time, which I think was Constantine, but I'm not 100% sure, where the idea was very much to get together and create the Christian faith. Before this point, there was no real consensus on what it was to be a Christian that was well adopted. There was the Apostles' Creed and everything like that, but it didn't spread. And at this time, there was a lot of things that were decided, principally things along the lines of Jesus's relationship to his father, blah, 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 as well as things of like the date of Easter, which is interesting because Easter is supposed to be celebrated at a time where an event occurred, but in reality, the date was decided. Similarly, I'm not sure if it was in the first Nicene Council or in subsequent Nicene Councils, but at some point, the date of Christmas was decided. This is hundreds of years after the supposed event had occurred. And the fact that Christmas fell on these dates was not arbitrary. The adoption of Christianity was difficult, especially in pagan lands. And in order to facilitate pagans converting to Christianity, some of the existing traditions were taken and folded into this growing Christian narrative, principally among which would be the winter solstice and its many holidays, including Yule, etc. I've heard my voice for way too much, so I'm going to stop talking.
That was a brilliant breakdown. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Council of Nicaea was responsible for many things. I believe also which Gospels would be included officially, because there's, I believe, supposed to be a Gospel of Mary Magdalene as well as others that have been excluded. And although they kind of exist, they don't form part of the canon, hence are not valid. Of course, they would not include a gospel from a woman under any circumstances. And I don't think the Catholic Church has changed that much since then.
Unfortunately not.
No. Oh,
Really?
we're on my favourite subject.
That famous forward-thinking organisation, the Catholic Church,
Yes.
Always ready to embrace new ideas and adapt to a modern world? What? No.
We're on to my favourite subject of Catholic bashing. As a former Catholic, it's just irresistible. You want someone to become a Satanist, just christen them as a Catholic and give them a load of Catholic bullshit all their lives. That will turn them away from God.
That was my path. I can only echo your sentiments. But hey, I've heard that this new pope is woke. So, you know.
Hey, me and the Pope share a name, you know, so, like, I'm just saying, I'm not saying there's some grand satanic conspiracy where me and the new Pope, like, are in cahoots, and then, you know, there's, like, some big old thing going on. But I'm also not saying that either. Ooh, conspiracy theorists, do your worst.
Absolutely. if you could sort of try and get some funds from them for our podcast, that would be very good.
Oh, yeah.
I hear
absolutely.
they've got plenty. I hear their coffers are full to bursting.
No, the Catholic Church is very poor, you understand. That's why they keep having to get all these donations from impoverished people, you know. It's very difficult, you know. It's like all that gold on the ceiling doesn't put itself there, you know. It's very difficult.
But to pull us away from Catholic bashing and back to Yule.
Yes, absolutely. Let's get back to Yule, which is, well, there are the two main ones I can certainly think of, the ones I mentioned, Yule and Saturnalia, that are, but they're all based on when, I mean, it's the coldest time of the year. So what else is there to do other than to congregate, keep warm, have plenty to eat and drink, and just like celebrate the fact that the weather's going to get better and days are going to get longer.
Absolutely. So I will fully admit my knowledge of what Yule was, who it was celebrated by, where it came from, very, very limited. Saturnalia, much the same. I'm vaguely aware it was a Roman thing. But my theory, you know, knowing nothing about anything, is that surely this is something to do with the winter solstice. Surely we have the, you know, longest night of the year in December. it can't be a coincidence that these things take place around that time, is my thinking. So I don't know if either of you have any knowledge on any of that to drop on me.
Unfortunately, the knowledge I have has already been dropped.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I mean, it stands to reason, and likewise, if we think of the other big Christian one, Easter, you're going, well, that's kind of like spring, everything's coming into bloom. And so you're celebrating that. And that, again, it's about fertility. Literally, It's about get merry and get shagging kind of thing. Of course, so Christians had to put a fucking downer on it by going.
I was going to say, like, to me, Easter always seems like the least shagging holiday, if that makes sense. Always even when I was Christian, because I wasn't Catholic, but I was C of E, and even when I was Christian, I always felt that Easter had sort of like a really like pastel feel to it. It was kind of like hey everyone, nothing really fun happens in this holiday. Yeah, you get to hunt for some chocolate in the garden, but apart from that, it's kind of like a bit of a damp squib of a celebration, really, isn't it? It's kind of like, whereas, the rest of them, hey, let's carouse, let's, get together, have a big feast, let's, do all the fun stuff, hey, all this kind of good stuff. So, yeah, I definitely feel that. I feel that holiday, seasonal Yuletide celebrations are something that I personally really enjoy. I don't dislike the fundamental concept of a wintertime festival, solstice festival, anything like that. And to this day, I think many people expect me to be going around saying "Bah humbug" and replying "Hail Satan" when people wish me a Merry Christmas and things like that. And I just don't. I'll fire back a Merry Christmas to someone if they fire me a Merry Christmas, because to be honest, my feeling is that nowadays the actual act of Christmas as we celebrate it, certainly in the West and the UK and the US, is that exactly what all the priests complain about is true. That Jesus is God. It's like the proverbial sandwich that you load up with so many fillings that the actual beef has slipped out of it, and you've still got the sandwich, but the whole supposed crux of it is gone long ago. And I feel that it's much more just people are now just treating it as hey, it's a cold, shitty time of year. It's nice to be a bit jolly towards your fellow man. We don't need the Jesus in it to actually do that, but we've got that as tradition, so we just got to cling on to that.
I still have an intense hatred for Christmas. I agree with everything you've said, and still I have an intense hatred for Christmas because I agree with you 100% that the whole Jesus of it was taken out, and that was an improvement. Unfortunately, it was just substituted with another religion called capitalism.
Yep.
And that is too big of a hindrance for me to truly enjoy it.
That's very valid.
I was going to come in on that tone as well and go, yeah, I am Mr. Bar Humbug Merchant. And it literally is because of the obscene capitalist nature of it and the fact that so much disposable shit is being sold. Like literally people will buy a Christmas jumper that will go at best into one of the charity clothes collection bins at some point, and then next year they'll buy another fucking one, all made in a sweatshop in India somewhere. You go into those shops, and the stuff I like to get is all gone because there's just tons of different variations on Stollen or seasonal chocolates, mold, God knows what.
I also have another gripe with Christmas. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But it also has a tendency to overtake Halloween and not give Halloween its fair share, which is my favorite holiday.
That's a very fair point. And yes, I will completely agree with you on that.
As Satanists, we do love Halloween.
Hell yeah. Spooky season.
Yeah. So there is that. And I think of it as it's great for kids. Then you can look forward to it and you get presents and you get a nice meal and I have no problems with that. It's like, but as an adult, I find it increasingly hard to build up any enthusiasm for it.
So I suppose from my perspective, I disavowed the sort of capitalist extremes of Christmas well over a decade ago. And I made it abundantly clear to my close friends and family that you can call me Scrooge if you want. You can say, oh, you're not in this festive season, but you ain't getting presents, you ain't getting cards. Please don't expect me to come and visit on Christmas Eve and deal with all the crappy traffic and everything like that. I would love to see you. I would love to engage in having a wonderful family feast. I would love to do any of the social positives of it. I'd absolutely love to engage in. But I have deliberately disconnected myself from anything that is excessive and capitalist about Christmas for best part of a decade now. And nobody expects it from me nowadays. So nobody is, turning their nose up at me saying, oh, where's my Christmas present, anything like that. So I don't often think about the element that you two have brought up, which is a very, very valid point. And it's, I have overlooked that.
I would also argue if there's literally anyone who goes, hey, where is my Christmas present? They're even missing the point of what their holiday is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about the giving, not the taking, but
Oh, totally. I mean, absolutely.
It affects everything, and even noticing that you go out for a meal and all the regular menus have gone. They've vastly cut them down. They do seasonal menus. Everything's more expensive because it's that time of the year where you can go, everything's more expensive. So, you go, you find, a practical example where my partner is vegan, where places we've gone to where they have a good vegan selection, suddenly they have a shit vegan selection because they've changed to a reduced Christmas menu. And, there is a vegan option now, but you have to have 3 fucking courses. And you're going, fuck off. It's not even anywhere near Christmas, and it literally does start after Halloween straight away. The shops are full of shit. And I can't help thinking, isn't everyone fucking sick of mince pies by the time Christmas comes around? Because someone's got to be buying those fuckers and scoffing them. And they're nice to have one day of the year, but they're fucking boring.
At least in my old country, not where I live now, we have a little bit of a buffer zone because we have Thanksgiving, and that allows us to fight off the Christmas a little bit with something slightly unrelated. But where I live now, there is no Thanksgiving, which means immediately Christmas shit immediately after Halloween. Not a fan.
Yeah. Just touching on what you raised, Lithos. Like, I am a veteran of the hospitality industry. I have been on the pointy end of the Christmas rush in hospitality, and it is a nightmare. It is. I have been in some incredibly horrific incidents in my life. I lived in London for a long time and got caught up in various very unpleasant incidents there, and traumatic car crashes and things like that. I've done very, very intense, strange things. I've never had a stress dream about any of those incidents. Never really felt like I had any trauma from it. At least 4 or 5 times a year, I will wake up in a cold sweat having just had a trauma dream about working a Christmas Eve on Oxford Street. Like, it is horrific for everyone who has to work through it. It is awful.
Absolutely. Yes, let us not forget the people who get the shitty end of the stick. Everyone who works in service industries,
there's no peace
in hospitality.
On earth and goodwill towards men to hospitality and retail workers in December. Let me tell you that. That message really got lost on the. Yeah.
People are out getting stressed doing their Christmas shopping. Everything's busy, and they will take it out on the person behind the counter. They will take it out on the delivery driver who's late because they have way too many things to deliver. So, if you're getting deliveries this Christmas, if you're going shopping, do not be a cunt to the people who are working on shitty wages and shitty conditions because you couldn't plan in advance. Just be nice.
Well,
if the season of goodwill to all men really means something to you, then it means something to the people in service industries and in hospitality. Just bear that in fucking mind before you fucking lose your rag with someone because your order was a bit late.
Damn right. Well said. And if I could also say that rule applies all year round.
Oh, yeah. I was going to get onto that. Yeah. The season of goodwill to all.
Yeah. It should be extra at this time of year when in actual fact it's the worst. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, completely.
Yeah, and it should apply all year. Goodwill to people should apply all year round. Do not treat people who, because you've got to bear in mind that these people you get annoyed with, they are on some of them aren't even on a proper contract, right? They are, they can be dropped at any point. They are working for minimum wage or close to. Very few of them are on what you would call a living wage.
Yeah.
And, and they don't need to deal with your shit. And if you have an issue, just ask politely to speak to the manager. Don't take it out on someone who's sat at the checkout.
Damn right.
Speaking of which, by the way, I went to pick up my prescription at the chemist the other day, and everyone was wearing Christmas jumpers and Christmas T-shirts, and this one girl had a cardigan on, a black cardigan with loads of white pentagrams, and I just thought, that's fucking awesome. And I did want to say, I love your cardigan, but before I could say it, she went off to ask someone else about the prescription. But that's the nicest thing I've seen. I love that.
I like that the holiday is, it is, for all its horrible capitalist, and you're absolutely right. Everything you've said about that aspect of it, completely right. The amount of extra waste, especially plastic waste, produced, at this time of year that will just immediately end up in a landfill come January. You're right, it is terrible. It's awful. But yeah, in the aspect of it that it is becoming more of a people holiday and less of a religious holiday, I do like that. I feel like that's taking back a bit more, slowly but surely. When was the last time you saw Jesus in a Christmas advert? Like, you just don't. Like, it's Santa or it's families or, anything like that. And so as we slowly, hopefully, more and more people are embracing the thing. I like a Christmas jumper, but I make Santa, Jesus, that ain't for me, pentagrams instead. It's like, I'm in the spirit. It's a social event. We're having a big old love-in, but, we're doing it all in our own style. I used to wear a Hail Santa black Christmas jumper to all of my work-enforced Christmas events with a big pentagram on the front. So, and that was, very accepted, and people liked it and enjoyed it. So it's getting to that point where, I think in general, people, certainly in the UK, I can't speak for anywhere else, but in the UK, people are almost like, oh yeah, there's a Christian aspect to Christmas, but we don't really care about that. We just care more about the fun social aspects of the holiday. And long may that reign, and let's get back to it.
Yeah, that's what it should be about. And certainly at this time of year, saying I'm a bar humbug merchant, I am not against getting together and consuming obscene amounts of food and or alcohol or insert drug of your choice. Just, to actually feel some positivity. I'm one of these people that does actually really notice the lack of sunlight, and I do not enjoy it. And I go out whenever it's sunny. I absolutely love long days, and this time of year it's very hard to keep a positive mood because it's just you just feel like the day's just got going, and it's like, oh shit, it's dark again, and it's cold and damp.
Yeah,
it's not even proper sort of that nice icy cold with snow, where you can go out. It's like, it's cold, it's damp, it's miserable.
Always makes me laugh when there's a Christmas film set in the UK and it's snowing like mad. And I'm like, have you been here in December? You're going to get some really great sleet if you're lucky.
I mean, it is just as well it doesn't snow that often, because having grown up in a country near Central Europe where you do get snowy winters and people do get used to driving in those conditions.
Yeah.
They get winter tires. Once it snows here, I don't want to take the car out because people just drive like, it's normal. And it's like, don't be fucking doing that.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
So it's, the lovely climate of the UK. And then you can hear people moaning about, where's global warming? Where's global warming? Well, that's the reason our winters now are so horrible and damp.
Well, also, we're on the same parallel as parts of Canada, I believe, here, aren't we? Like, in terms of latitude, aren't we? We're sort of, if it wasn't for the fecking Gulf Stream bringing some warm, moist air across us, we'd be a freaking icicle. And global warming will disrupt the Gulf Stream at some point, and then yeah, we will become colder. I think that's why
Yeah, it's
all the climate scientists are now saying stop saying global warming, start saying climate change, because that's a far better way of actually describing the effects of it.
well, it is. When people think North America, the states, in the north of the states, you kind of go, what latitude do you think New York's on? Same latitude roughly as Rome. It's like it's a lot further south than you think.
Damn, I didn't realize that. Gosh.
And it is, and you go, well, snow in Rome, but snow in New York, that's not unusual.
No.
Yeah, snow in New York is very common. Unfortunately, I have very bad memories of it.
Yeah, I think when it always makes me laugh when it does actually snow here, and you get like a couple of inches, and all the schools close, and the trains stop running, and the buses don't work properly, and you're going, what the fuck, guys? Seriously, this is
just not prepared.
I don't know how true, whether this is just one of those things that gets shared around or it's not true. But is it true that, at some point some government bigwig did a cost-benefit analysis of what would it cost to snow prepare the whole country in terms of infrastructure, making the train lines bedded on concrete and everything like that, and everything else we'd need to actually be able to function during minimal amounts of snow, compared to the amount of money lost in working hours and everything for the one day a year actually snows bad enough, and they just went, nah, it's not worth it. No, just stay inside that day. I don't know how true that is, but I can certainly see it. It's like in the same way that we wouldn't invest money into earthquake proofing our buildings and things like that, because it's like we may get an earthquake once 100 years, but for the rest of the time that would just be a serious waste of money for us to put all that extra work into earthquake proofing a building. I don't know if it's true, but it certainly has the ring of truth to me.
Well, I mean, considering climate breakdown, we should be preparing ourselves for all eventualities as far as I'm concerned.
I'm going to get my volcano suit out then. Yep.
Extreme. Earthquakes is fairly certain. You do know if you're on the fault line or not. But things like extreme heat, there is no reason, because we did have a really cold spell a few weeks back, where just the cold weather comes in much earlier than you'd expect. It might come in much later than you expect, assuming that things are going to work as they always have done is no longer an option for anyone, because the climate has been notably disrupted.
That's a very, very good point. Very, very sobering point. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the true message of Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Yes, let's bring the note up a bit to a bit more positivity to kind of like roll out on.
I have a question then. Let's assume that we have I myself am not into Satanism for a very long time. I've been, here for less than a year, I think. How can people who are new Satanists who are listening to this and thinking, well, I don't want to give up necessarily all of Christmas, what does a satanic Christmas look like, right? What can an individual Satanist in a family of people who are presumably Christian do to still uphold their Satanist beliefs while partaking?
I mean, I would say if a Satanist Christmas should look exactly like you want it to look. That's the whole point of Satanism. Obviously, that's fine if you're organising it or it's your home. Within a family of non-Satanists or even Christian people, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So I would say, the obvious answer to that is it should look like whatever the fuck you want it to look like. Hail Satan, is the obvious answer, but also not a very practical answer or a very realistic answer for the vast majority of people, especially if they're, keeping their Satanism low key for the time being, or they're in a place that isn't safe to, show their Satanism or anything like that. So I would say, in the same spirit as what I do, is engage with the feeling behind the message rather than the actual celebration itself. So, as I was saying, if someone wishes me a Merry Christmas, for me, that's just them saying that they hope I have a pleasant time of year. I don't take it to mean that they hope that I'm actually, praying to Jesus and celebrating the birth of Christ. I see it as a message that has a core to it that is attached to a religious holiday, but isn't really being said in that regard. And I would engage with the holiday in that spirit myself, as in I am focusing on the core message, which far goes beyond, whatever the heck Christians have put onto traditional celebrations at this time of anything, and engage with it from that aspect rather than actually having to do all the bollocks Jesus stuff on top of it.
Oh, I was just going to say that can start with things like, you could even just, rather than say Merry Christmas, if the whole idea upsets you, wish people a Happy Yule. That there is nothing wrong with the word Yule. No one can complain that the woke brigade has got hold of you for using a word that has been in parlance for fucking centuries and is still in use.
I promise you they can complain, but I don't know what you're saying.
I mean, and then Happy New Year, is obviously a one. You can alter your decorations to suit your tastes. You can even look at options for, traditionally used pagan decorations that might not offend, or that might look seasonal. You don't have to stick an angel on your tree or a Christ in a cot.
Yeah. But so many of what we would consider, Christmas in inverted commas decorations and whatnot, they're all poached from Saturnalia and Yule and things like that, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
And I love the decor of natural things, fir branches, holly, ivy, all these kind of things. I go crazy for that shit. I fucking love it. Fairy lights, they can get in the bin or the recycling and properly disposed of, as all e-waste should be. But you know what I'm saying. I really dislike that side of it. But traditional, feelings, things that seem very of the time of year in a natural state, I think are lovely.
Yeah, I do feel for people who live next door to those that go all out on their lighting in their front garden. I'm thinking you'd have to be getting blackout blinds.
Yeah.
Because that shit is going to keep you awake. But at least knowing the cost of electricity now, you're going to be paying for that in fucking January. It is, yeah. I mean, it is. You can always sneak a couple of spangly pentagrams into your Christmas tree. The pentagram by itself, the normal, not the inverted one that we use, it's called inverted. There is no right way to hang it. But you can always sneak a couple of those in. Those are traditional symbols, and they have actually been used, arguably, even in Christianity.
Oh, they have. The pentagram was used as a symbol for the 5 wounds of Christ. It was used extensively for a long time. So, yeah. Just in the same way that an inverted cross is the cross of St. Peter, and you'll see it in a lot of Catholic churches, which is,
Yep.
And if you have a family that insists, and you're too young to argue with it, and that insists that you attend mass, or even if doesn't matter what age you are, they might feel offended if you don't attend mass. Well, fucking attend mass and just sit there and think of other things. I've
only ever been to one Catholic mass in my life, and it was a Christmas mass. And it was the most boring thing I've ever sat through. How the hell can you make a Christmas service? It should be the most easy thing. Like, guys, this is our big show. Let's go hard. A, was the most boring thing. And B, one of the choir boys passed out at one point while the priest was giving his sermon. And I shit you not, the priest's reaction was not, "Oh my God, let's help the choir boy." He looked over his shoulder, gave a sigh, turned back to his lectern and tried to carry on with his sermon. I'm just like, and I mean, this choir boy went from conscious to unconscious and hit the ground like a freaking sack of potatoes. Like, and I was just like, "You're a priest." It's like, what the, I was just like, he's literally preaching a message about goodwill and helping your fellow man, and he's pissed off that the kids passed out.
Yeah, it's kind of like, how to take the joy out of it. And, by all means, just bear in mind what I'd say is bear in mind what this celebration was originally and always intended for. And I firmly believe that as long as we have been sentient as beings and worked out how the year works and why, and not why, but how days get shorter and then get longer, and why how it gets colder and then warmer. We have had a celebration like this around this time of year, and
Absolutely.
it is to go, right, let's celebrate the fact that fucking hell, things are going to get better.
Yes.
Days are going to
Yes.
get warmer. They are going to get longer. Everything is going to get considerably better again.
Absolutely. And if you have to sacrifice the member of the family that pulls the bean out of the stew or anything like that, then so be it. Blood on the snow might be necessary to bring back the sun, but let's embrace the old traditions, hey?
Absolutely.
I just remembered that one. It just popped into my head. I was like, wait a minute, wasn't there the King of the Bean? Wasn't that a thing? It was like, one of the, as in the nights are getting colder, we're going to have to sacrifice someone as an offering to the gods to bring back the sun. I have this, it just popped into my head, and I can't remember if it is a thing or not, but yes, let's do it. Bring back the old ways.
Bring back the old ways. And take your vitamin D supplements, folks, because you're not getting enough daylight.
Yes,
Shout out to my fellow SAD sufferers, absolutely. Yeah, it's debilitating.
It's also, it's also going to help you fight off colds slightly better if you start taking them as soon as the days get shorter and you can't go out in your T-shirt and get some sun on your skin. You do need vitamin D supplements at this time of year. Tis a fact.
If I could, sorry, I also had an answer to my question, which feels like
sorry.
I've missed.
Yeah, sorry, you were trying to get this in ages ago.
I feel like, I'm on a highway and the exit was 10 exits ago, and I'm just going like,
let's circle back.
What do I do now? I guess I just keep going forward.
No. So we set up the question again, and we come back into there. There we go.
Oh, no.
So, hey, Kate, you were the one who originally asked this question. So what do you think about?
Yeah, so I had a small list of things that I wanted to bring up as well from things that I've been considering doing this year in order to change things. First, to preface this, maybe we'll talk about this a little bit in a future episode, but looking at what I would call quote unquote satanic ethics, there are, at least in most modern atheistic satanic organizations, two parallel lines, one that has to do with the self and the other that has to do with the way the self integrates with society, right? And so for the self, these two things are frequently related, even if they are written in separate principles or pillars or tenets or whatever organization might want to state. The focusing on the integrating into society one, we as Satanists know that there are people who are downtrodden and oppressed, and that there are systems such as capitalism that keep them oppressed. One of the most satanic things, in my opinion, that one could do in the quote-unquote Christmas time would be to really think about the impact of whatever gifts you are going to give and choose gifts accordingly. Now, that's in the societal lane, but what about the individual lane? Nothing is more fulfilling than pursuing your own creative desires. You want to give a gift? Make it. That is going to be a lot more ethical than wanton consumption and destruction, and it is going to be self-enriching. So not only are you giving the gift to someone else, you are giving it to yourself. That, for me, I think is the one thing I'm really going to try to do this year, because I haven't started, and I need to. It's a bit late. The other thing that I wanted to really bring up is to not, but you guys already hit this nail on the head, is to not go overboard with the bah humbug. You can have a little bit of bah humbug. In fact, sometimes it is fun to be the bah humbug, and other people enjoy, as long as it's not overdone, a little bit of playful pushback. But don't let it go too far. Remember that, other people don't believe the same things as you, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have their moment.
Yeah. Very well said. I'd agree on both those points.
Your first point absolutely stands, and that is an excellent suggestion. Yes. That is really good. And there is no way to make a gift more personal. Yeah, and the second one, they're just because you don't believe in it, there is no reason for you to piss on everyone else's parade. You do not need to be the Dawkins in the room.
No one should ever be the Dawkins in the room, even Dawkins.
No, absolutely not. So, you don't have
very,
to
very good
fucking
points.
sit
Absolutely.
there and go, oh, you stole a Yule. And it's like, yeah, if you believe that, I believe that. You just don't need to. If you've got your religious family there, you don't need to fucking, if you don't want them to ram it down your throat, then don't ram your belief down theirs.
Exactly.
Yes,
Never
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. That's very good.
Enjoy the food, enjoy the booze.
Yeah.
Enjoy the
100%.
shitty Christmas movies and the games that you play, be it Cards Against Humanity or whatever else.
Yeah. And make your gifts and sneak pentagrams into your gifts. I believe is everything.
Yes. Now we're talking.
Yes,
Now we're
absolutely.
talking.
Yes.
That's all I wanted to put out.
No, that was a very good. I think that's a very good message. Actually, I think there is your Merry Christmas to all and to all a good night moment. I think there you go.
Yes, I think that is an excellent point, which to kind of like go, positive message there. After all the slagging off of various factions of Christianity and commercialism, to actually say no, come on, just enjoy it. As a Satanist.
I have just realised we seem to have fallen into a Christmas trope though. There being three of us. Lithos as the ghost of Christmas past, me as the ghost of Christmas present, and Kay giving us a positive message for the future as the ghost of Christmas future. So
but wasn't the ghost of Christmas who showed the grave?
Do you know?
Yeah.
I'm glad
we all die. It's like that always confused me about the ghost of Christmas future. Scrooge, you're gonna die. It's like, okay, knew that already. So it's like...
it was you're gonna die and nobody's gonna miss you. That was the part.
I see. That was the. See, I just missed all of that. I was just in it for the Muppets. It's all good.
I'm glad you went with Dickens and not with the biblical motif of the three wise men of the Orient.
Which there weren't.
No. Well, for a start,
the number of magi was never mentioned, as far as I'm aware. It was only the gifts that were mentioned. So the actual number of people who turned up was irrelevant. It was just the fact that he had the gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Yeah,
and out of those three, two of them fucking cheapskates. Sorry, gold, yes, but she must have gone to the frankincense guy. Couldn't you have bought some fucking nappies?
No, it's to cover up the smell of his holy shit.
Yes, well, the donkeys and all the goat shit that will have been in the manger.
Yeah,
arguably.
Yeah.
You're also going. Couldn't they have kind of like taken them somewhere nice, like somewhere outside of the stables, rather than turn up and go, right, here's our stuff. I've brought you some gold, but these two guys, they've fucking scraped some resin off the trees on the way.
It's, wait, you've got gold? Yeah, pots of it, mate. Could you maybe put us up in a nicer inn?
Yes. Can you get us a fucking Airbnb? Look, I'm giving birth right next to a donkey here.
Okay,
yeah,
we're back onto
absolutely.
slagging off it all. We need to finish on that high note. So
the
hail
high
Satan,
note.
hail Saturnalia, hail Yule, and hail everything except fucking Jesus in a manger day.
Yes, absolutely, and please, yes, take it the positive message, especially the one that Kay left us with.
Yeah,
excellent suggestion.
An excellent roadmap for how to embrace a good, wholesome satanic Yuletide, definitely.
So yes, I will say from all of us, thank you again for listening. And if you do suffer, like some of us do, from seasonal affective disorder, just celebrate the fact that you won't for very much longer, and enjoy yourselves and be nice to each other. Be excellent to each other.
Be most excellent to each other. Now that is a Christmas message.
That's it.
There we go.
That's a message for every time of the year, basically.
Yes, let's not treat like human decency as a Christmas only thing, please.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, let's be nice. Be nice. And not to fascists. You can never be nice to those twats. But so all the best, and thank you for listening. And I've been Lithos. Hail Satan.
I've been Kay. Hail Satan.
I've been Chaplain Leopold. Hail Satan.
I'm Laraj, hail Satan. I hope you all have a diabolical Christmas, in the best possible way of course, and a satanic new year, and that you stick around to hear our many upcoming episodes in 2026.
Hello everybody, this is Ligeia. I want to wish you Merry Christmas. Light your candles, worship yourselves, sin responsibly, and remember, pleasure is real, gods are optional. May your holidays be free of gods, rich in choice, and guided only by your own will. And for the new year, may your desires be intentional, your boundaries strong, your nights indulgent, and your life entirely your own, and hopefully beautiful. I love you, and see you in the new year. Hail Satan!